Welcome to today's session, children. So we have already discussed in the previous sessions about the periodic properties of the elements in the modern periodic table and how these properties vary in a group and a period. So these properties mainly depend upon the electronic configuration of the elements. Especially they depend on the arrangement of the electrons in the outer shells. So when you look at the group, the electronic configuration of all the elements in a group remain the same. Therefore, the chemical properties of all the elements in a group are same. Whereas in a period, the outer shell configuration differs from one element to the element as the atomic number keeps increasing from left to the right in a period. Therefore, the chemical properties vary. But coming to the physical properties, they show some regular gradation in a group and a period when you move from top to the bottom in a group and when you move from left to the right in a period. So we have already learned about all these properties, but let us revise once again these properties today. Yes, let us look at this table which gives you an information about the valency of the elements. Especially here two blocks are reflected, S block and P block. So how does this valency varies in a group and a period? Now look at the valency of the first group. The first group valency is 1. The valency of the second group is 2. So these two groups belong to S block. And coming to P block. So valency of third A group, this is third A group, it is 3. And the valency of fourth A group is 4. The valency of fifth A group is 3, sixth A group is 2, seventh A group it is 1 and eighth group it is 0. So up to fourth group it is equal to the group number. The valency is equal to the group number up to fourth group. Coming to fifth group onwards, you have to apply a formula 8 minus group number. So 8 minus 5, 3, 8 minus 6, 2. 8 minus 7 it is 1, 8 minus 8 it is 0. So what is happening to the valency when you move from left to the right in a period? It is increasing first up to 4 and then it is decreasing to 0. And coming to the valency in any group, you take any group, the valency of the group elements remains the same. Whether it is hydrogen, sodium, cesium, whatever are the elements in one group, the valency is 1. And third A you can see boron, aluminum, they have same valency 3. So the valency of the group elements remains the same. So let us look at the next property, the atomic size of the elements in a period and a group. Now what is happening to the atomic size in the group? As the new shells keep adding in a group, the size of the atoms increases in a group from top to bottom. But when you move from left to the right, in any period you can see what is happening to the size of the elements. The size of the elements is decreasing. So here actually the number of shells remain the same in any period. But what is happening to the nuclear charge or the nuclear force? Nuclear force is increasing when you move from left to the right in a period. Why it is increasing? The number of protons and number of electrons keep increasing when you move from left to the right. Therefore, the nuclear force increases and the size shrinks, and therefore the size decreases when you move from left to the right in a period. Now when we compare the size of the neutral atoms and their ions, so how does the size vary? Now let us look at these ions. Sodium, by losing one electron, it becomes a positive ion, Na+. And chlorine, by gaining one electron, it becomes a Cl-, negative ion. So what is the number of protons and electrons in the neutral atoms? Coming to sodium, you have 11 protons and 11 electrons. But in sodium ion, there are 11 protons and 10 electrons. And here, in case of chlorine, you have 17 protons and 17 electrons. Whereas in the chloride ion, there are only 17 protons but electrons are more, 18 electrons. So here what is happening in a positive ion? The number of Therefore, what happens? The nuclear force becomes stronger and it attracts electrons more towards itself. Therefore, the size of the positive ion is smaller than the neutral atom. And in case of a negative ion, what is happening to the number? Here electrons are more compared to protons. Therefore, the nuclear charge decreases or the nuclear attraction decreases and the size of the chloride ion is bigger. So, look at this picture here. See, this is neutral sodium atom. So, after removing one electron, the sodium positive ion is having electrons only in the first and second shell. There is no electron in the third shell. So, therefore, the nuclear force is more and the nucleus attracts electrons more towards itself and the size decreases. You can see the size of sodium ion is less when compared to the neutral atom. And here it is more clear. This is the neutral sodium atom and this is the positive ion of sodium, which is smaller than the neutral atom. And coming to the chlorine. This is neutral chlorine atom, but this is negative chlorine ion or chloride ion. Here the size of the negative ion is bigger than the neutral atom. So, in general, any positive ion is smaller than its neutral atom, and any negative ion is bigger than its neutral atom. So, you have to remember this. Yes. The next property which we have already discussed about is ionization energy. What happens to the ionization energy in a group and a period? These are S&P block elements. What is happening to the ionization energy when you move from left to the right in a period? The ionization energy increases. And when you move from top to the bottom in any group, the ionization energy, it decreases. So this energy, it depends on several factors like nuclear charge, screening effect, penetrating power of the orbitals, electronic configuration and the atomic size as well as stable configuration. These are the factors which influence this property. There are some exceptions here. See, here beryllium is having more ionization energy than boron. The reason is, in case of beryllium, the differentiating electron goes to s orbital, whereas in boron, the differentiating of the last electron goes to p orbital. The penetration power of p is less than s, therefore it is easy to remove electron from p compared to s. Therefore, the ionization energy of beryllium is greater than boron. And even you can see here some more exceptions. Can we compare nitrogen and oxygen? Here actually oxygen must have more ionization energy when compared to nitrogen, but here in fact nitrogen is having more ionization energy than oxygen. The reason here is nitrogen is having stable configuration. It has half-filled p shell, p subshell, half-filled p orbital. So either half-filled condition or completely filled orbitals will give stability to an atom. That is the reason why the ionization energy of nitrogen is greater than oxygen. So let us look at the next property, electron affinity. So electron affinity also increases when you move from left to the right in a period, and it decreases from top to the bottom. And the factors which influence ionization energy, same factors also influence electron affinity. Now these two elements, fluorine and chlorine, they belong to the same group, 7th A group. As we move down the group, what happens to the electron affinity? Decreases. Therefore, fluorine, it must have more electron affinity than chlorine. But do you observe here, the chlorine atom is having more electron affinity when compared to fluorine. This is an exception and it is an important point to be noted down. You may get even in the examination. So here why fluorine is having less electron affinity? It's because of its smaller size. Because of the smaller size of the fluorine atom, the interrepulsive forces among electrons is more. So it is little difficult to add the electron to this atom. That is the reason less energy is liberated when we add an electron to this fluorine atom. So in other words, what you have to remember, easier it is electron, more energy is liberated. More electron affinity we can see, right? This is an exception you have to remember. Ionization energy and electron affinity, these two are the properties of isolated atoms. So it is also necessary to compare the atoms when they are in the bonded state, which atom attracts electrons more towards itself. So to explain this, one more property has been introduced, which is electronegativity. Electronegativity, it is the relative tendency of the atom to attract the electrons towards itself when it is bonded with the atom of another element. So we can calculate electronegativity by taking the average of ionization energy and electron affinity. Yes, coming to electronegativity, we can see I already mentioned that from left to the right, what is happening to the electronegativity? Electronegativity increases when we move from left to the right in a period, and it decreases from top to the bottom in a group. So here if you look at these two blocks, S and P block, fluorine is the element which has highest electronegative value, around 4, and francium is the element having least electronegative value. You can say it is only 0.7, because as you move down, what is happening to electronegativity? It is, what is happening is decreasing, and when you move from left to the right, it is increasing. So all these three, ionization energy, electron affinity and electronegativity, they decrease down the group and increase when you move from left to the right in a period. So let us see here. Yeah, here this table also shows the highest electronegative value and the least electronegative value of francium. Now coming to the metallic nature of the elements. Now 75% of the elements in the table are all metals. Only 25% are non-metals. The first group elements are known as alkali metal elements, as they are derived from plant ashes, and the second group, they are known as alkali earth metals. Okay, in between you have D block, which are known as transition metals. So all these are metals. Here in case of P block, you have some metals, you have some metalloids, and you also have some non-metals. And this particular series, lanthanides and actinides together, they are known as rare earth elements, or they are also known as inner transition elements. Right. Look at this colorful periodic table. Here all those elements which are in yellow boxes, they are all metals. And those which are in sky blue, can you see few elements, they are metalloids. And those who are in blue boxes, these elements, they are all non-metals. So you can see the percentage of metals in the table. So majority of the elements are metals, only some are non-metals. Right. Now here, this also shows, this picture also shows that though, the part of the table which is red in color is metallic, and which is blue in color, it is non-metallic. Now in general, all the properties, this picture shows you how it varies in a group and period, how they are showing regular gradation in the periodic table. So here ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, all these three are increasing when you move from left to right in a period. And what is happening to the atomic size? Atomic size decreases when you move from left to the right and increases when you move from top to the bottom in the group. Now what about metallic nature? Non-metallic character increases and metallic character decreases in the period. This picture gives you complete information about the regular gradation of the properties in a period and the group. Now coming to electron shells, they remain same in a period, and down the group the electron shells increase by 1. Coming to valence electrons, they increase by 1 when you move from left to the right, and they remain the same in the group. And electronegativity, it increases when you move from left to right, and it decreases down the group. Same is the case with ionization energy and electron affinity. They increase in a period from left to right and they decrease down the group. Now coming to metallic and non-metallic characters. When you move from left to the right, what happens to the metallic character? It decreases. And what happens to the metallic character in a group? It increases. And non-metallic character from left to the right, it increases, and the non-metallic character from top to the bottom, it decreases. I hope it's clear how these periodic properties are showing regular gradation in the period as well as group. Now this is the periodic table. We have learnt a lot about it and how the elements are arranged according to the atomic number in the increasing order of their atomic number and outer shell configurations. So all these things we have already learnt, and I'll give you one interesting point before I conclude. So this particular table has almost all alphabets except two alphabets, J and Q. So you can go back and check the table. You will not find these two alphabets in any of their names. And I hope one among you may discover new elements in future which will have these alphabets in the name which you are going to discover. All the very best. Thank you.